Rest, my dear soul. This message reached you thanks to that tugging at your heart, that soft whisper. It is a sign from above, a message from the angels telling you that you are not forgotten and that you are loved. There is a purpose for you being here. This is a meeting with destiny. Is it a coincidence that I am sending you this message right now? No, it is not. It is one of the divine laws of the universe and heaven. Yes, the law of attraction. You feel extremely lucky that I am sending you this message, don't you? Before moving on to the message, please like the video so that this message can reach other people, dear soul. You must also receive and accept the message with love. If you write, "I received and accepted it with love," in the comments and seal it with 367, you will maintain the balance of giving and receiving. Don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe for our other messages. Says Archangel Michael. Now we can slowly move on to the message. Take a deep breath and open your heart to absorb the truth that has been prepared especially for you. There is no age limit in heaven. It can only be done by the human heart. This person, who cannot escape their thoughts, has been given a unique gift, the ability to love forever. Indeed, it lasts longer than the passage of time, the effects of aging photographs, or the notion that it is too late according to worldly standards. The divine does not use birthdays to measure love. It's a measure of bravery, of heartfelt devotion, and of the ability to again choose love. While our minds may fade from sight, our spirits remain forever connected. Remembering is eternal for the soul. Someone has recalled you before they even knew what it was. Prior to their familiarity with your name. Why? Because in God's eyes, age is nothing more than a magical number. While Sarah was 90 years old, Abraham was 100. The promise, nonetheless, remained. According to the angels, what is divinely appointed does not have an expiration date. At the set time, not your time, not their time, but heaven's time. And that's the moment that this love is patiently waiting for. Not according to your schedule preferences or societal norms, but at the exact moment that God has planned. You were made to see beyond your age, past your background, and past your self-doubt, and this is the person who won't leave your thoughts. The ability to see spiritual things, beauty, your calling, your presence, and the silent struggles you've conquered, was bestowed upon them. You may have been asking, am I too old? Is it too late? However, the angels assure you that you are just at the right time. The angels want you to know that He brings beauty to everything at the right moment, and that time is now for you. They weren't fooled by your younger self in any way, shape, or form. They were captivated by the enduring spirit. For the person whose emotions remained soft and whose optimism shone through despite setbacks. Time travel is unnecessary. Remaining competitive with the past is unnecessary. What is ahead for you respects the path, so all you have to do is be yourself. It values knowledge. The wounds are respected. This individual also carries the weight of their own past. Their individual mistakes, their individual wisdom. However, they've been well prepared. They are ready to respect you, to mature alongside you, and to choose you not out of a crush but because they are on the same page. Remembering their younger selves is something they would rather not do. The goal is to leave something lasting. Building truth is their goal. They hope to settle down with you. Were the angels heard by you? A holy promise is whispered by them. You are carried even to the gray hairs. You are on trial. We adore you. Has it sounded to you? You are carried even to gray hairs. That the chapters of your love story are far from over. Up ahead is it. It also won't burst in with a pyrotechnic display. The arrival will be accompanied by a gaze that says, I see you. It won't feel like a fantasy, but rather like something in your chest finally breathing after holding its breath for years. You'll know it's real because of this sensation. Reliving a decade will not be their goal. On this one, they will honor it. For them, this is a precious moment, this is a sacred place, and tomorrow is also sacred. Regardless of your age, this individual still didn't pick you. That is why they picked you. Grace comes with age. Age brings wisdom and insight. Loving someone takes time, isn't superficial, and doesn't stumble around in the dark. All of these qualities grow with age. It floats on air. It prefers to listen than to talk. It prioritizes substance over surface-level appeal. It values your yes and respects your no. Love, you've heard, has a shelf life. The time to settle down or give up comes after a specific season. But it was never God's word. It was dread. It was cultural. How disheartening. Supposing to be reasonable. Heaven is still at work, writing your story and preparing someone to stand by your side and say, I'm not here to catch up on lost time. I'm here to make new time with you. The angels proclaim, you will still bear fruit in this season. You are not withering. You are ripening. You are not dried out. You are not overlooked. You are not yet in your prime. You are full of grace, wisdom, and a spirit meant to leave a legacy. And this person, they are not scared of your past. They are not frightened of the burdens you carry. They are not here to make you perfect, rather, they are here to stand by your side, to share your purpose, to reflect your prayers, and to help you create something sacred, not what the world would call perfect, but what heaven calls sacred. So stay true to yourself and shine brightly when they arrive. Don't be afraid to stand tall in your transformed self. Share stories from your life's experiences and love those stories based on the healing you've endured. Then observe the results. See how they value your words, embrace your silence, and appreciate the years you spent not resenting them. This love is unique and sacred. Stop counting the years and start counting the grace, because this love is eternal and approved by heaven. It was never an enemy, but rather a sacred timeline where your heart softened to receive something this profound, mutual, and long-lasting. Your soulmate sees that they have been prepared for this. Prepare yourself for the impending confirmations and quiet miracles. They will arrive, and you will know them when they do, because divine love is never late and always comes at the perfect time. Have faith in the divine timing. You are not forgotten, and it is never too late for love. Heaven still believes in your story. Your soulmate has the gift of seeing you beyond time, just as God does. And the promise from heaven is this: everything is working out for your good. Your age, your time, and everything happening right now are all orchestrated to bring you two home together. It's not a matter of chance, but of your free will. Heaven doesn't work on coincidence, but on covenant, and this covenant has been going on for so much longer than you realize. There's a reason your spirit hasn't let go. It's not imagination, but recognition. Your names are already connected, your assignments written, and your love honored somewhere in the unseen. Angels have whispered it into divine timelines. Heaven kept aligning the steps even when you weren't ready, and even when they weren't ready. This isn't over, it's becoming. And when it does, you'll realize that age didn't delay it, it preserved it. It gave you both time to mature, to heal, to know yourselves deeply enough to know how to love someone else. So don't resent the wait. There's a reason you keep thinking about them, and their name brings both peace and curiosity. The wait was not punishment but placement, it was preparation. The angels assure us that this love will appear as sure as the sun rises, like rain that waters a dry and waiting earth. This person will arrive, and they will not be scared of your history, as sure as the sun rises. Because it takes courage to wait, strength to believe, and faith to keep one's heart open when life gave one every reason to close it. you made the courageous choice to keep it open. People will be drawn to you, admire your wisdom, and value your perseverance even when it was easier to give up. You made a decision to embrace love and hope, and now love is returning the favor. The angels are punctual and precise, moving on a divine frequency. And now that frequency has finally aligned with your preparedness and theirs. You are not forgotten or left behind. This next season isn't about striving. It's about receiving. Receiving what has already been ordained, already confirmed in heaven's courts. Because when God writes a love story, He doesn't skip chapters. He builds characters. You are right where grace wants you, on the edge of becoming, on the verge of a sacred union. Keep standing in belief. Keep speaking life. Keep making space in your heart for what God is about to place there. He heals you via His writing. He lets time refine it. And when it's finished, it's not just romance. It's a revelation of His perfect knowledge of you, His ability to plan your every move, and what it means to be seen by your Maker as well as by other people. This person has also been growing, and the Lord has said, when the time is right, I will make it happen. So when it does, you won't have to chase it, you'll simply have to recognize it, say yes, and open your heart again. For what is coming is not a repetition of what broke you, but rather the resurrection of what was promised. They have been humbled, shaped, and seeking direction from God, and your name has been resonating in their prayers. They may not be aware of it yet, but their souls and spirits have prayed in your name, and heaven has heard. Therefore, do not ignore the indications. Do not bury the knowledge. Do not diminish yourself to be loved more easily. Whoever is meant for you is ready to love you with all your glory, depth, and truth. Age simply deepens the love's richness, gravity, and glory. Anyone can fall in love fast, but sacred love comes through fire, matures in waiting, grows in prayer, and flourishes in God's timing. And that is what this is, a beginning, not an end, a flourishing. So, instead of counting your years, count your anointing, your confirmations, and the times God whispered, hold on. They're coming. And now you're closer than ever before. That next conversation, that encounter, that open door could change everything. So, be prepared, be open, and be expectant because the person you can't stop thinking about hasn't been idle. In their peaceful moments, they have been led, guided, and whispered to. Your name has been included in that whisper. You will sense it when it occurs. You will feel it before you comprehend it. You will trust it without trying to control it. Heaven doesn't require explanation, all it needs is your agreement. Your heart is prepared to receive. It was unanticipated, but heaven took notice. The angels leaned in. Destiny paused to record. Because sometimes the most sacred moments come without warning. It was a laugh you didn't think was special and a glance you forgot you shared. Nothing dramatic, no fireworks, just a moment. Simple, soft, holy. In that fleeting instant, they understood it had to be you, not because it made sense, but because it brought peace, instead of an announcement or a sign in the sky, but simply a soul awakening to a truth too profound to explain. Their heart chose you against reason, not in the fervor of passion, but with quiet certainty. Because it felt like home, not because it was scripted, but because it was. And in that one silent understanding, the universe altered. One heartbeat synchronized. One spirit froze. One soul whispered yes to what it could no longer deny. It didn't require approval or permission, it just knew. You may have walked away, but heaven remembered. That moment was sealed, written in the spirit, etched in divine memory. Real love doesn't always scream, sometimes it settles, sometimes it speaks in silence. Sometimes it confirms in stillness what words could never capture. Nothing was the same after that. They smiled more, but not for everyone. They smiled for themselves, for the secret joy and private knowledge they were carrying. They could still work and go about their lives as before, but deep down, they were different. They were marked, set apart, and quietly chosen by you for you. In that fleeting instant, the Lord guided their hearts, not by coercion or terror, but by a sacred whisper that commanded, "Look again," regardless of whether they comprehended the reason, resisted it, or felt life's various pulls. Heaven serves as a reminder that while our hearts plot our course, it is the Lord who ultimately determines our steps. The world continued to spin, but they couldn't help but remember that laugh, that glance, that stillness, and they did it with more than just their eyes, they felt it in their spirit as well. You were no longer just another person, you were the promise, the answer they had been praying for and the reflection they had been missing. There were no fireworks, but there was eternal love. Divine love often arrives in such a way, unplanned, unhurried, and undeniable. Even though they returned home that day empty-handed, they carried with them a new awareness, a sacred pull, a fire that never went out but instead warmed in quiet. And as the days went by, the knowing became stronger. The angels whisper this truth, they tried to explain it, but language failed. They tried to divert their attention, but you continued to resound in unexpected places, not your voice, not your name, but your presence, essence, and the imprint of your soul on their journey. Step upon it. And that voice was you. And that's how they perceived you. Not directly ahead of them, but in the distance, enveloping them, within their soul. An unspoken word, profoundly heard. So, as they progressed, they bore you like an enduring melody, like a scent that remained in the room long after you had departed. And each time they doubted it, something occurred. God would never allow them to forget a sign, a verse, a memory, or a dream because everything that happened was never by chance but rather according to plan. At that very moment, destiny was set in motion. A countdown began in heaven, instructing them not to rush or force anything, but to be ready, for the earth must catch up to the choice made in the spirit, and that is exactly what is occurring right now. The reuniting, the filling in of blanks, the lining up of movements. Your wait is not in vain. Your dreams are not a mirage. Instead, you stand in the shadow of something genuine, holy, and silently selected. They picked you out of thin air, not knowing how or why. True love doesn't always inquire, but it always answers. Their hearts whispered a sacred promise, "Where you go, I will go. And, where you stay, I will stay." Their knowledge was not rational or transactional, but steadfast, rooted, and unbreakable. And no matter how much they tried to put the past in the past, date other people, or bury the memory, the thought of you would always return, like a prayer. Their soul would always carry a yearning that no one else could satisfy, because that moment had chosen you too. And nothing can change the will of God that was set in motion during that time of quiet. If you are asking whether it had any significance, whether it was genuine, and whether they felt it as well, the answer is yes. 1,000 silent yes. Yes in their hearts. Yes in their silence. Yes in their unspoken prayers. They may not have known it intellectually, but they knew it emotionally, and that faith endures forever. They will boldly, joyfully, and tearfully confess what they felt in that one sacred glance. They will not be able to remain silent forever because true love grows louder with time. Our hearts recognize each other long before our words do. So cling to hope, to the promise, to the quiet memory that began it all. What was whispered is about to be spoken. What was unseen is about to manifest. Then something changed, gently but surely. That unspoken knowledge, which they had buried deep inside, began to blossom, not in the midst of chaos or noise, but with clarity. They ceased to doubt it. Instead, they began to lean in, not to imagination, but to faith. faith in what their soul had known since that moment, faith in the emotion that would not let them go. They informed themselves, it's just a thought, and first they chalked it up to happenstance. They thought, it will pass. However, it persisted. Your name resounded more emphatically in the stillness. Your influence manifested in unforeseen ways, a song, a word, a scripture, a dream. They began to understand that this wasn't about romance, but rather, heavenly acknowledgement. The angels validated their intuition. I know my sheep by name, and they follow me. Your presence was like a voice to them. They were hearing a divine voice, not with thunder but with peace. They started to remember every detail, every look, every unspoken word, that passed between you and me. They remembered how your presence soothed their souls and how your laughter lifted the burdens they were carrying. They began to wonder, God, was that moment real, as they noticed that your presence brought order to the otherwise chaotic situation. Has anything holy slipped my mind? Had they been the one, then, instead of pressure, heaven sent patterns, signs, whispers, and confirmations. Whenever they attempted to deny it, the truth would reappear, stronger, clearer, and closer. Now that they couldn't stand still, they had to move not frantically, not carelessly, but deliberately, baby steps after baby steps. You weren't just someone they met, you were someone they were led to, through suffering, healing, and growth. So they stopped running and stopped acting like it didn't matter. The angels whispered a new commandment to their hearts: do not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. So they began to take real steps, letting go of old fears and false attachments, and rewriting their story about love, timing, worth, and most importantly, themselves. They stopped saying, it's too late, and started saying, if God still placed them in my heart, it's because the story is not over. Heaven smiled because that's the switch. That's the unlocking. When love stops hiding and starts honoring, when fear is traded for movement, when silence is traded for prayer, when wondering becomes seeking, the divine invitation has always been ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. They began to seek not only you, but also God's will, God's timing, and God's guidance. In this pursuit, they drew nearer to their own souls, to the parts of themselves that had longed for someone like you, someone who was kind, steady, and real, not flawless, not polished, but present. They had stopped seeking a fantasy and were seeking faith. God, unite us. Heal what is broken. Speak what is unspoken. They lacked the confidence to pray before, but now they are praying with boldness because of you. Your faith was visible in your eyes, your silence, and your spirit. May you be led to them. The angels are listening, and God is clearing the way. Little by little, doors are opening, and yes are being spoken. They may not appear all at once, but you will begin to sense them in your dreams, your heart, and the sudden feeling that someone is thinking of you with a holy desire. And they are. As the realization grows, so does the movement. Your loved ones will start to make room for you in their lives by releasing what doesn't serve them. They'll begin to pray over your name and envision the first words, the first moment of honesty, the first confession of, I knew. I always knew. Even if they haven't spoken it aloud yet, their spirits are moving toward you. I was confused about how to handle it, but now they understand. They are prepared. Love without preparation is meaningless. Love that is in harmony is a divine act. The promise from heaven is that the word of God will not return empty but will accomplish its purpose. God spoke this love, so it will not return void. They are on their way, and heaven is guiding their every step. Every decision they make is making room for you. So don't ignore the stirring. It will reach its purpose and accomplish what it was meant to, which is union, sacred union, not only of hands but of hearts, prayers, and legacy. With each hushed prayer, they sow the seeds of the future you will create. And when you do meet again, it will not be hurried or confusing, but right. It will be right because they have chosen you again, not merely emotionally, but with faith. You are prepared for the return of what is rightfully yours. Every gray hair you despise, they adore. Every youthful insecurity, they cherish. Because to them, you're more than just a number. You're the answer to a prayer they stopped praying for years ago. And let that truth sink in. They've rejected easier options, stood firm against doubting friends, and chosen daily to love what the world told them to ignore. They see what you miss. They appreciate what you've attempted to conceal. They discover beauty in the areas you once hid. They didn't pick you for your looks. Their love for you is deeper than your doubt, your shame, and the voices in your head that tell you you're too late, too broken, or too complicated. Alignment, spirit, and truth were the reasons they chose you, not convenience or ease. When the world questioned why they couldn't have chosen someone easier, they simply reasoned that their soul had already chosen them. This is the love that follows a divine lead. It doesn't settle for superficiality but seeks profundity. What they saw in you was more than just a fleeting attraction. They could have taken the easy way out, but they opted for honor. They could have catered to those who were more outspoken, who were more colorfully dressed, who needed less patience, but they refrained because in connecting with your spirit, they discovered something unique, something sacred, something that doesn't happen twice. The world failed to comprehend, and some still fail to this day. But here's the thing about divine love: it doesn't need a vote, it just needs vision. Vision to see beyond the noise, past the obvious, terrified, and misunderstood. They walked alone in their truth even when it cost them company. Remember the blessing for the faithful. There will be blessings for you even when others turn their backs on you and your holy choice. Your loved ones were blessed even when they were scolded for loving you. Your friends whispered doubts, and the world said, "That doesn't make sense." But they remained loyal, aligned, and faithful because they saw something in you that couldn't be queried. It was a sacred bond, a promise sealed in a hidden spot. Whenever they thought of your humor, your endurance, your life story, they grinned because they didn't merely love you, they held you in high esteem. Not only the good parts, but also the hidden pages, the silent tears, the late nights. Even the gray hairs you despise, they cherish, for they symbolize your lived experiences, your resilience, and your triumph over adversity. And to them, every wrinkle is a work of art, a sacred map of the journey you've taken, the prayers you've murmured, the strength you've called upon. They don't perceive the passage of time, rather, they perceive grace and legacy. What you once felt insecure about, the characteristics you believed diminished you, are now celebrated for shaping your soul. They rounded you out, humanized you. And it's your humanity, not your highlight, that they adore. They treasure your honesty, the crack in your voice when you're exhausted, the movement of your hands when you speak, the persistence of light in your eyes despite all you've been through. You are more than a statistic to them, you are a miracle. According to sacred texts, a partner with noble character is like a crown to their beloved. You are that crown, not because of your clothes but because of who you are. And that doesn't change with time, if anything, it grows. So, you need never wonder again if you are enough, if you are wanted, or if you are still worthy of divine love. You are completely, undeniably, enough. In your heart, you know it's never too late for love. Currently, they're mustering up their courage, not only to confess easy love, but also to shield you from inconsiderate looks and silly questions. They're getting ready to stand before the divine and the world and declare, "This one, only this one," no matter what the calendar claims, because this isn't about proving anything. Something precious, something spoken about in heaven, something that the world may never comprehend, but they do, is at stake here. Words alone won't be enough to stop them. They will be accompanied by armor. A shield of holy conviction, fashioned in quiet contemplation and prayer. They have witnessed the challenges you confront. The furrowed brows, the murmured inquiries, the skeptical looks that imply, why them? Why now? Why not someone easier? The ones who have already accepted it. For them, the point of loving was never to make their lives easier. The idea was that it was factual. While others settled, they observed. They've seen friends act the part. They've seen images with unrealistic smiles and realized it wasn't us or this. Their goal in arriving is not to blend in. They're come to make a statement, to be proud, and to be at your side. They will then proudly stand before the world, refusing to allow human opinions diminish what is truly divine. You are not a reaction, and that is why. You are more than just a filler. You are not a choice born of isolation. You've answered a profound spiritual question that they were unaware they had ever pondered. Because they felt it was too late, they stopped praying for you. Nevertheless, God declared, I save them for my time. The heavenly choirs chant a divine melody. There is a time and a place for everything in God's universe. You are the reason for this, and the moment has come. They're now practicing. Power, not poetry. Resilience in the face of potential criticism. Power to shield you from the stare of a cruel observer. Power to calmly and confidently silence naysayers. Love that is fearless is real, while love that is timid is merely a show. It's a ministry, indeed. With integrity, honesty, and dedication, they are prepared to minister to your heart. There is no speech being prepared at this moment. A promise is being made by them. When they face you in the eyes and declare, I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm choosing and I'm not moving. They're not afraid of the whispers. I'm afraid of missing destiny. With both their lips and their lives, they are not backing down. They will mean it fully when they say this one, only this one. Not half-heartedly, not conditionally, not until it hurts, but until the end, through every season, against every tide. They know what it means to bear your name like a sacred flame. Not to flaunt it, but to tend it, to keep it safe from the elements and battles, to guard your heart as if it held their future, because it does. There is an ancient vow in their souls that says, I am your beloved, and you are mine. And they are willing to say it before heaven, before strangers, and against every voice that told them they were wrong. Because when they look at you, they don't see age, they don't see mistakes, and they don't see comparison. They perceive a sanctuary, a place of tranquility and strength. They perceive the one who silences chaos with a look. They perceive the one who restored their faith in God, in timing, and in promises. Consequently, they are mustering their courage, not to conquer you, but to protect you. In order to guarantee that you will never have to fear that they will cover you up in public, change the subject when you are mentioned, or downplay your significance to them in order to appease others. On the contrary, they are getting ready to elevate you, proclaim you, and celebrate you, no matter the cost. This is because love that hides isn't love that lasts, and they desire eternal love. I am not ashamed, will be their spirit's declaration. For this love is the strength that God has given me. And just as they are not embarrassed by the gospel, neither will they be embarrassed by you. You are an integral part of their story, a manifestation of God's kindness, and the unexpected answer to their request. This love wasn't born in ease, they'll declare when they stand before others. This love, which is holy, will be tested. But they are prepared. They are ready to face the test, to fight for what is right, and to remind every falsehood that this is mine. God gave them to me. It was born in covenant. They have seen the price and they are willing to pay it because you are valuable. You have always been valuable, even on the days when you didn't feel seen, when you felt passed over, and even when you doubted your own reflection because the world taught you to. They never viewed things through the world's perspective. They beheld you with celestial, heavenly, spiritual, and soul-gazing eyes, and what they beheld was magnificence, beauty, and your unique, unadulterated, and uniqueness. Therefore, grant them courage and strength, for when they come, you will not need to doubt their intentions, their defense of you will speak volumes. Do not be afraid, I am with you, I will strengthen you and assist you. And God is now supporting them, just as they publicly held your hand with the same confidence with which they held you in prayer. They silenced all dubious voices with a firm. Remembering their bravery, their choice, and the love they have for you, they will say, I do, not only to you, but to everyone who has ever dared to question it, curse it, or tell you not to. Yes, I did. When I say, I will, it will tremble the very air. You are about to be recognized as worthy, cherished, and chosen. You are prepared to receive this courageous love. Then, the moment arrives, not hurriedly nor forcefully, but at the exact appointed hour. So, get ready, not for an explanation or apology, but for elevation. They advance, not merely physically, but spiritually as well. Uncertainty fills their hearts, but they speak with confidence and reverence, as if engulfed in a holy fire, before God, the world, and anyone who has ever questioned the profundity of their emotions. They declare, this one only, this one, no matter what the calendar claims. Heaven hears, echoes, and confirms their words. Because when a spirit makes that declaration without hesitating, blushing, or feeling ashamed, it transforms the spirit realm. Doubt splits like the Red Sea, and fear fills the air as love emerges from hiding. When they hold your hand, it's like returning home, not to the house you grew up in, but to the one your soul has always sought. The sacredness does not reside in the physical space, but in the intention. At that very moment, they express what has been hidden within them for a long time, I choose you. This choice has already been made. The altar might be in a kitchen, a cathedral, or even a peaceful park at sunset. In the face of skepticism, doubt, and criticism, I will choose you again. This is no ordinary union, rather, it is a powerful testimony that will heal and uplift all who have ever felt invisible. At that very moment, your doubts will begin to fade, your waiting will take on purpose, and your fears will become less powerful, because it is no longer just you who believes, others are believing alongside you, for you are sacred. You are not their secret, you are their sacredness. You are more than just a possibility to them, you are a miracle. They proclaim it with all the authority that such a love deserves, because it is a love that cannot be hidden. You are a beacon of light that illuminates the world. Not only do they love you, but they also honor you, will walk by your side, and will protect you. I'll construct with you, and everyone who doubted it before now is silent. True love is self-sufficient, it demonstrates itself by standing firm. And this love, it stands firm like a mountain, unaffected by tempests and storms, grounded in grace. Their voice carries authority, not because it's loud, but because it's genuine. That kind of truth restores every memory of being made to feel less than. It rewrites every page that told you you were too old, too late, too difficult. They're standing in front of all that pain with you now, rewriting it all by simply saying, this is my person. They heal every moment you ever felt passed over. This one I've decided on. You don't need to perform to win their approval or explain your past, they are steadfast in their faith in the one who promised. Their faithfulness reverberates in the heavens. They aren't hesitating or doubting, they are steadfast in their devotion to you. They have loved you before they could speak. Now their words flow from their mouths like water from a long-awaited spring, refreshing, redeeming, and restoring. I saw you when you didn't see yourself, I felt you when you weren't here. I knew before I understood, and now they understand. You don't have to apologize for the years you spent healing. God chose you, not a younger, louder, or more polished version of yourself, because you are the one who brings grace, who walks strong but quietly, who laughs like healing, and who speaks truth even when your voice shakes. People are praying for you, standing by your side in public and private, and they are grateful and proud to speak your name because their love for you is eternal. Your heart is what they chose, what they're fighting for, and what they're pledging their future to, so breathe. Let the tension melt. Let the fear uncoil because you are safe here. Seen and selected here. And it's eternal. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And they know that. You are no longer waiting, you are walking into covenant, covering, and clarity. And nothing, not the past, not the doubt, not the calendar, can undo what has just been declared. This love stands bold. The heavens have recorded their stand, and the angels rejoiced because it took time and testing. But now it is real. Strangest thing will happen when they publicly kiss you and grab your hand. Critics will stop speaking because rare love has its own power. The type that makes bystanders murmur, maybe we were wrong. Perhaps love truly does not grow old. Put an end to the tally of years, my lover. You have met someone who loves you with an eternity's grace. Now begin to count the ways in which heaven has intervened. It will take place quietly, without a rousing proclamation, but with a hand extended and a forehead pressed against yours. A soft kiss planted not because they wanted anyone to notice, but because they just couldn't control themselves any longer. Love that testifies, rather than love that performs, is this. And all of a sudden, the vibe will change. The bewildered expressions that appeared before will reappear. On this day, they will behold a sacred sight. Not in your posture or clothing, but in the way you are handled. Because there is an indescribable quality to a person who is freely loved, fully seen, and still chosen with great clamor. Love like that doesn't need a microphone to be heard. It stirs emotions, leaves people speechless. Because when the heavens move, the earth has to pay attention, even the judgmental will become silent. What you hold in your hands is backed by heaven and sealed by heaven. They will not be hesitant to reach out and touch you when the time comes. In order to gauge who is observing, they will not turn around. They will stare at you as if you were the sole entity in a chaotic universe. Perhaps you are for them as well. As if it were always meant to be, they'll encircle your fingertips. The world will sense it the second they do. Why? Because genuine love never seeks affirmation. It commands respect. No explanation is necessary. No need to defend yourself. Everything will be conveyed by the way they grasp and perceive you. They won't only offer you a helping hand. Everything that is important to you, your past, present, and future, will be kept by them. Because a love that is commanded by God cannot contain shame, they will do it boldly. Keep in mind this divine reality. Faithful people will never face disgrace. This love, this belief, is not ashamed of anything. It takes pride. Anyone can see it. I can prove it. They won't be trying to flaunt you with their kisses. Your gratitude will be expressed. Your patience is appreciated. Much obliged for your faith. I appreciate you not accepting a love that would have diminished you. And that one act, a kiss that is not impulsive but born of honor, will reveal the inauthentic. Because true love shines brightest in darkness. No need to address the naysayers. Anyone who had doubts about your union doesn't need you to explain it. Their gaze can silence any deceit. Any uncertainty will be silenced by the way they shield you just by being there. Their ability to remain in joy, in depth, as they age, and in truth will demonstrate what heaven has known the whole time. Love is eternal, it grows. Your patience was well rewarded. You couldn't be hurried while they were preparing you for something. Those who formerly urged you to set lower expectations and dream smaller will now see you walk in a love they never imagined possible. There will be a few who whisper, but they will whisper with awe. Perhaps we were at fault. Perhaps love truly does not grow old. Plus, people won't be envious when they say it. They will say it with optimism. The weight you bear today will have far-reaching consequences. Expect it to motivate. Healing will occur. People will be reminded that the optimum timing is still God's timing. You regained your strength by waiting on the Lord. You won't pass out while you walk. You are no longer frightened, concealed, or unfulfilled while you go. Year after year, you worried that you wouldn't be eligible. Because of all God has done to qualify you, your love is deep, complex, and unwavering. This love took its time to blossom. Divine patience polished it after it was made in fire and cured in solitude. At this point, the harvest is plain to see and cannot be denied. Thus, you should cease keeping track of the years. Quit worrying about if it's too late. Your value is not determined by the passing of time or cultural norms. Begin to keep track of the number of times God diverted suffering to safeguard your way. Get a tally of all the times you were close to settling but dropped the ball. Keep track of the nights you prayed instead of freaking out. Triumphing over apprehension. Heaven will never forget the dreams you buried beneath your pillow, therefore it's time to start tallying them. Why? Because this was the end result of all that came before. With their hands intertwined, they kissed without remorse, and the quiet of their detractors gave way to respect. This proves that heaven was in a constant state of flux. Even when it was hidden from view and you felt the opportunity had gone. You were enough every single time, even when you felt like you weren't. You stayed faithful, not because you stayed young. It respects that, too, this love. You are more than merely loved by them. Because of the time spent waiting, learning, and being pruned, they adore you for who you've become. My love for you knows no bounds. You have been heard. No harm will come to you. Elect you are. When you walk in a way that pleases the Lord, He will even make your detractors happy. Everyone, even the naysayers, can now relax. It was because you changed that they did not. As a result of maturing and remaining devoted to the goal God set before you. Put your hand in theirs and relax. Allow yourself to be at peace with this. This is the time to redeem your years. For the simple reason that you are loved eternally. Age is nothing to eternity. It is cherished. It respects it. Beyond it, it perceives. For all time, the story of your love is really only getting started. Love that lasts forever belongs to you. The love you're holding here isn't meant for only you. It's proof positive that holy time is real and active. Such timeless love endures. That algorithms can't account for God's continued story writing. People will see you too and feel a change. Someone who was on the verge of giving up will get a glimpse of your happiness and mumble, "Maybe I'm not too late." Another person who is still mourning a missed opportunity will see your expression and think, "Maybe God still remembers me, too." Because when heaven opens its arms to people, it privately heals their hearts. The effect of your connection will be invisible to you. Just be yourself, be brave, and tell it like it is, and someone far away will start to believe in you all over again. If God can do it for them, God can do it for me. And with that, your love transforms into a seed. Not merely a romantic partnership, but a reawakening of faith, optimism, and divine anticipation. Becoming evidence was something you were unaware of. In any case, here you are, holding hands. A shameless kiss. An artwork that speaks volumes, even to the uninitiated. Your story exemplifies the power of faith, the importance of patience, the reality of divine alignment, and the fact that even complete strangers can sense it. Nobody will be privy to your complete narrative. Nobody will have to. The presence of the Holy Spirit will be palpable to them. The prayers that prepared the road will be felt by them. And they will be stirred by that serene sanctity. You'll enter a room with a sense of liberation. Liberation from the regulations that society imposed. Independence from the deadlines it sets. Your own being dispels the eternal dread that love has a finite lifespan. Not when the weather is divine. No, after it's been polished. He has been sitting tight in his role as silver refiner. As a result, you can finally let this love into your spirit. So that's how God acted. He sat with your spirit, sanctified it, and burned it until it was strong enough to love without remorse. You persisted through each step. It was something you wholeheartedly embraced. You gave up. Love and influence are now your rewards. Being present is all that's needed to make an impression, not a platform. Come as you are, and healing will start. A simple, "I love you," conveys the meaning of every answered prayer with just a single look, touch, or declaration. And the world takes note. Their thirst will drive them to inquire, rather than being nosy. This kind of love, where did you discover it? What gave it away? Why did you take so long to act? And your smile will be one of genuine compassion, not ego. I didn't discover it, God did. I had little knowledge of anything, but I knew enough to hold my heart open. I waited because settling was worse than being alone. Someone told them to give up, shrink, or settle, but your life and love say otherwise. You will become a sermon they didn't know they needed, a message they stopped listening for. Then, out of nowhere, the Spirit will whisper, "Tell your story." Not all of it, but just enough. Their lives will be changed because of you. A little hint that will entice those on the brink of despair to pull back from the brink and declare, "Not yet." For your union will be akin to a lighthouse, not demanding attention, but shining unabashedly, and those navigating through storms will find their path by observing you. Your love is a testimony, a trumpet in the Spirit, and it sings, "God still fulfills promises." It's not just beautiful, it's useful to heaven, healing, and humanity. Let your light shine so that others may see your love and glorify the Father who brought you together. Standing tall, walking softly, and glowing steadily, not on a stage, but in the street, the cafe, the grocery aisle, and the family gathering where everyone watches silently as your partner puts their arm around you and speaks your name like it's sacred, is an expression of your purpose, not a hiding place or an attempt to make others feel comfortable. You were chosen to love and lead, after all. This union is real, and someone is eager to believe again because of you. So, be fearless in your love and let the Spirit guide you. It's not about bragging, but about demonstrating what is possible, that with purposeful waiting, heaven responds with fullness, that those who have sown with tears will now reap with songs of joy, and that divine timing always wins. If these words have touched your heart, we ask that you consider supporting this channel. Your contributions enable us to continue sharing divine messages and blessings with people all over the world. Whether it's a super thanks of $10, $20, or any amount you feel led to give, your joy is contagious, prophetic, and transcends generational boundaries. Your love is your testimony. May God shower you with an abundance of love, peace, strength, and joy, and may our prayers be answered, that our light and love may reach those who are in the darkest places. We are grateful to have been a part of your sacred journey and to have been able to walk alongside you.